It's the last stand of Spoony 1. We've reached the end of the line. The end of the line for Spoony. It's his last stand in his foreclosed home. Will he leave quietly with the police, or will he fight them to the end, the bitter end? Will Spoony survive the last stand? How did we f***ing get here? Well, we're going to find out on tonight's show. Spoony's gonna box those officers. He's gonna knock them the f*** out and keep his home. He's not going back to Arizona. Rise up, Spoony. Rise up. In the meantime, Spoony's Patreon posts, which were hidden behind a paywall, have all leaked. We're going to examine them to illuminate how we've gotten to this point with the once great Spoony 1, where we're at the last stand. The last stand, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty sad situation to see. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen Spoony's Twitter recently. Just have a look at this shit. I was going to live stream, but predictably, my mood took a nosedive. There's just never going to be an end to this pattern. Getting ready to leave this house fills me with such despair. It didn't have to turn out this way, but now I have no reason to stay here. And no future for me in Arizona. No purpose. Leaving this place behind, I'll truly be giving up on everything. There's no new beginning waiting for me. Just the same endless march of time. One day blurring into the next. And me too sunken in bitterness and regret to notice. This is the state of the Spoony 1 as of October 2nd, 2020. He is, in the next 30 days, going to be forced to vacate his premises by the local sheriff. The plan is for him to go live back with his parents. His brother Miles won't even have him. His brother Miles has had enough of Noah bashing President Trump. He's no longer going to allow Noah to sleep on his couch. So Noah is moving back with his parents. Noah can no longer afford a U-Haul to move all of his stuff cross-country. So
what, is the guy in his 40s?
Yes, he's in his 40s.
No.
Yes, and
what a idiot.
He's planning on putting all of his earthly belongings and possessions in the back of a hatchback Honda Civic to drive from Chicago. I think it was in Aurora or Chicago, somewhere in Illinois, to Arizona. Now, of course, Spoony owns thousands, in fact, probably tens of thousands of dollars of books, gaming books, all sorts of stuff that's out of print, thousands of dollars in rare video games, comic books, memorabilia, swords, commemorative tables, like just an unreal amount of memorabilia Spoony owns that's not going to fit into the back of his Honda Civic hatchback. So I don't think he's selling any of it either. It seems that Spoony doesn't have the will to get out of bed. All he does is tweet. So all this shit is just going to be left at the home when it's foreclosed on the day of judgment. I don't know if Spoony's going to pack any of his shit. It seems like he's accepted that he's being evicted from the home. But honestly, the question is if he'll take the action to actually pack his shit to get out of the home, or if he's just going to wait to the very last minute when the sheriff comes to the door to fucking toss him out of the home. It's just a fucking pathetic situation. It's a terrible situation for anyone to find themselves in, let alone the Spoony one, who was one of the most successful content creators between like 2008 and 2012. He was one of the very highest level video game reviewers in the very top echelon, the top 5 of reviewers. And in my personal opinion, he was the very best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. Now, recently, all of the Patreon posts where Spoony updates his backers have come out, and so I wanted to go over some of these because you can see where it starts to go wrong. You can see where his life starts to unravel in real time as he updates his financial backers. So I'm at, this is where you can find the leaks. It's on yif.party/patreon/124881 if you want to go over it at your leisure. Now there's 12 posts missing, but we have nearly everything. What you'll notice is that all of these are, content videos that he's put out. For the first 4 of these 7 pages, it's all good. It's Spoony being productive. He's, putting his content up on Patreon for his fans. And then suddenly, the money starts to come in. Holy cow! 2 goals in 1 day? I don't even know how to thank you guys. That's unbelievable. I'm really overwhelmed. Well, not yet, because it looks like I've got a DVD to make. Holy crap. Now I have to pick out the best targets for my wrath. What do you think? So the money here is now starting to come in for Spoony. I think he's hit something like $2,000 a month on Patreon here. This is shortly after he's, really started to actively promote it and offer rewards and goals. And so now he has to make this DVD. And we're going to see, as we go through these updates, Spoony talk about the DVD, the movies he's going to review for this DVD, all this sort of thing. But I'm just going to give you guys the spoiler now. The DVD never came out. The DVD was never made. That was supposed to be the reward for his backers. So just keep this in mind, that all of these rewards that Spoony is promising people as he's bringing in this money, he never actually delivers on. And we're going to see this continue. So here is now Spoony letting people know about how he's purchased a prop. Well, the first prop I'm looking at is a medieval helmet for an upcoming Ultimate game review. Still trying to save some money. I'm not just pissing it away here, but you'd be surprised at how cheaply you can get some pretty good looking LARP stuff. Oh yeah, there were other Ultimate games. So Spoony is starting off with what seems like the best of intentions with this money. He's purchased a new prop, he's working on the DVD, but as we're going to see, things start to really overwhelm him. Checks Patreon pledge total. It was like over $4,000. Sprays drink everywhere. I'm blown away and overjoyed by what I'm seeing here. I mean, it's barely been a day. Stressed out now, though. So, I mean, if any of you got $4,000 a month to do your hobby, which is to talk about movies and video games, I imagine a lot of you wouldn't be too stressed about that. So I've got all this money now coming in to do the same thing I was doing yesterday. Rejoice! But no, because now Spoony realizes that he's committed to making this content. It's no longer going to be a hobby for him. This is going to be his job, which it already was before, but now he has people who are directly financially supporting him. He's beholden to them. He has responsibilities, and Noah's mind rebels against the concept of having responsibilities, of having a set schedule, of having to get something done at a certain hour. He always wants to do what he wants to do, and he finds it very difficult to put what he wants to personally do aside for his business. And so because of this, and he knows this now, he's stressed. And you're going to see just how stressed he starts to get. And what ends up happening is, as the stress builds up and he pledges more and more to his backers, he eventually just decides to shut down completely and just hope that the problem goes away. But that's not how it works in the real world. unfortunately, and Spoony has been sheltered from this up until this point, and he just doesn't know how to deal with the problem. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to this. He says, I'm trying to make this site a place. Happy stress. Must make these pledges worth it. Oh, I'm sure they're worth it. Mind you, none of the pledges really ever got fulfilled. I'm trying to make this site a place where you have sneak peeks into what I'm shopping around for. I honestly hadn't thought I'd get to $2,000 at all. Kids, this isn't $4,000. This is $2,000. So he's at $2,000, and already the stress is building. At all. So I hadn't picked anything out, but I'm headed off to Video Copilot and Red Giant software to make a list of After Effects plugins that might help out with the reviews. I'd also might like to make a list of Artbeat stock footage I can buy license to use. Hopefully they're not too expensive. I've never browsed their site with a serious intent to buy anything. Let me get down here. As for costumes, well, I need to start poking around for people who do commission work. I know a few people already, but one can never know enough talented people. So Spoony here is saying all the right things that you would want to hear from a creator who's, you know, taking money from his fans to start up a new project. Things seem to be going all right here, but then it's going to change pretty rapidly as we continue through these posts. So let me just move to the next page. So we're going to go through these one by one. Some of them aren't going to really be relevant, but I just want to cover them because this is the only new Spoony content aside from tweets I'm probably ever going to get. And I think it's important for a retrospective purpose that we go through pretty much all of these that we can. And so we're going to now go to Spoony whining about his Sephiroth costume. My biggest problem right now is Sephiroth's costume. What a nostalgic time. What a nostalgic time 2014 was for Spoony, when his biggest problem was a Sephiroth, I don't know how to say it, I've never played this game, costume. This was his biggest problem. This was his biggest problem in life, was the Sephiroth costume. Now he's like homeless. But I have some kind of reaction to vinyl. I'm not sure if it's an allergy or what, but putting on both the Squall and Sephiroth costumes have been horrendous experiences for me within minutes of wearing them. Both characters are basically draped head to toe in leather. However, my costumes are cheap Chinese replicas, and they substitute vinyl for leather. The guy is bringing in like $3,000-$4,000 a month. He can't even afford the leather version. Within minutes of wearing them, I am covered in flop sweat, overheating, about to pass out. Never felt anything like it. Rather tough to stay in character when you're struggling to stay conscious. Needless to say, I was not eager to get into the Sephiroth costume, and it was just as bad as I feared it would be. I had a box fan going full blast, and between takes I ran into the next room and threw myself in front of it while I planned the next shot. It's just an incredible visual to just think of. Spoony dressed fully in black leather as Squall and Sephiroth, darting desperately to the other room to get in front of the box fan. At least he was doing something then, you know? It might be pretty embarrassing that he couldn't afford the leather costume when he was getting thousands of dollars a month for costumes, but at least he was actually working. He was producing content. Sad. But this is him as he's reaching that peak. He's going up the roller coaster, and it's going to be a swift plunge down, but you know, he's still productive at this point. This is 2014. He's still making some reviews. I think that was the year the Ultima 9 review came out. So here's Spoony now letting us know about the patron rewards. I'll send out a message in about a week once things have settled down about your rewards, like the photos and the Cards Against Humanity game. Everyone who's got a reward coming can send me a message. You can tell me the name you want to be credited by, what type of video you'd like to be credited in. He's got autographed photos. I posted a link to my store page. They're all great. The newest headshots I took are on the top, and I'm really happy with those. Just send me your mailing address and I'll get those to you ASAP. Just wait for my sign before sending me your address. Things are a little crazy around here. Cards Against Humanity, you should message me when you have some free time to join in on a live stream and voice chat. The games will probably last 3 to 4 hours, so hopefully we can all find a time in our schedules that align. I'm thinking we can do this on a weekend. You should make sure you've got voice chat working. I've never done the Cards Before Humanity thing online before, but you probably have to run a Skype call on top of it. I'll keep you posted. So, a couple of points here, and some context to establish for those who aren't aware. With Cards Against Humanity, this was a $100 a month reward. You heard me. For $100 a month, you got to play Cards Against Humanity with Spoony. And as we're going to see again and again and again, Spoony fails to deliver on the game, bails on the game, tries to tell them to switch it to a different type of game. It's $100 a month. And there were multiple people, 5 or 6 people, who paid this for their Cards Against Humanity game for Spoony. On top of this, he's selling pictures, 8x10s, of his own face, autographed as though he's George Clooney or you know, some Leonardo DiCaprio, a big shot Hollywood actor with headshots that are signed. And people were buying them. It was $25, I think, to get a signed headshot of Spoony. $25. And like 50 people sent this money to him. All he had to do was fulfill these rewards. But do you realize that not one person even got their signed Spoony headshot? No one got anything that was promised. Now, you could buy one from the Antweiler site and it would ship to you, but through Patreon, I don't think anyone got shit. That's how I remember it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people did get their signed Spoony one, a photograph. But holy shit. I mean, even at the time, people were taking the piss out of Spoony for fucking selling pictures of his face autographed. And if you look at that picture of Spoony that he used to use as his headshot, and you compare it to what he looks like today, and I think we will do this at the end of the show, it's really, really, really fucking sad. Really sad. Oh shit. I mean, here he is. Look at him here. Look at how full of joy and wonder he is here. Look at him here. And you see what he looks like today. And that's not even him at his very best when he was sending out those headshots. I think this is the one where he was looking his sharpest. And he was like the youngest. Oh, f it. It's not pulling up because it's from fucking ED and their server's a piece of shit. But that's where he was looking like his youngest, his sharpest. He was sending out these pictures autographed, all these headshots, you know. So let's continue. Okay. DVD content update number 1. The first official announcement for the DVD is the Spoony Experiment Rift Theater on Captain Zero, Episode 2. I may include Episode 1 for completeness if there's room. I had a lot of fun with Captain Zero the first time, and consider it one of my best riffs. So this should be a blast. This is update number 1 for the DVD that never came out. I'm adding the DVD to the reward tiers. I should have done it earlier, but I'm surprised we got half this far. Me too. Knowing how it turned out. If possible, I'm going to make the DVD download to burn as an image file, along with downloadable copies of the individual files for the lower tiers. And the next higher tier will get a free physical copy of the DVD, autographed and personalized, along with the downloadable content. Oh, so here's like this highly detailed plan. So like these people who are donating are expecting this shit to happen. He's like updating them, telling them, "Oh, don't worry. This is on the way. It's coming. I swear. I've already picked the riff for it. I have a plan for distribution. Don't worry, guys. The DVD is coming. It's on its way." Oh, and you can see how when you make all these promises, the pressure would start to mount on you as you fail to accomplish any of them, especially when you're laying out like how you're going to do it and then to take zero action on it. You can see how the pressure is going to start to mount on somebody's shoulders, how they're going to begin to crack as they don't deliver on it. So here we go. Here he continues. Just to reiterate, the DVD will be for sale publicly when it gets produced. It's a ways down the road, but I've always intended it for it to be on sale. I just wanted it to be a nice free reward for you guys, free reward for you guys who jumped on as patrons. So he's letting people know, hey, don't you worry. Don't you worry, you can buy this DVD. You can give me money. I'll let you give me money. I'll let you buy my DVD. It's never coming out. Never came out. But he's letting you know, don't worry. You know, if you're not a patron, I'll let you buy it anyway and give me money. Oh, the grift. The grift has set in hard. So here's one of the saddest ones. What form the counter monkey goal takes is a mystery to me. We've reached uncharted waters. It's all happened so quickly. I haven't had time to better figure out what to do beyond make more counter monkey and make them lots better. Right now I'd like to work on getting a cool backdrop or set, maybe a neat chair. I always envisioned a backdrop that looks like an old-time tavern. May not be workable in this case. I also have some special guests in mind that seem willing to show up, and your support will definitely help the costs of travel. I'd also like to get my own theme song and get away from the Bard song, or at the very least get one I can freely use with the artist's permission. As of yet, I don't think I can rent out studio space. He's definitely looking into it. I think the far more reasonable investment of your money is making a counter monkey set here. And the thing about this is, out of all the Patreon pledges and rewards that Spoony promised, this is the only one that he actually did deliver on. And in the final Patreon post, we are going to see the Counter Monkey set completed. But realize that not one episode of Counter Monkey was ever filmed on this set. It's a tragedy, actually. It's really sad. Okay, here we go. If any of you guys have any medieval type set dressings such as furniture, armor, weapons, tankers, etc., that you would be willing to sell, I'd be interested in taking a look. I'm trying to come up with a good design for the set, but finding medievalish furniture isn't something I'm accustomed to. I'm not sure how to start. It might even be something I have to get custom made if I'm to get serious about it. Mostly I'm trying to keep this sane in terms of cost benefit. I don't want to piss away your money. I don't want to piss away your money. What a f***ing ironic sentence from Spoony. Because every dollar that was sent to him on Patreon was pissed away. Since he started the Patreon, no content came. None. So all of your money got pissed away, guys. But anyway. I'm not going to blow $1,000 on a suit of chintzy plate armor. Oh, I'm thinking about getting a couple of chairs and a cool looking fake fireplace. I can rig up the wall to look authentic somehow with chroma key and get a table and some props. I mean, this is some exciting stuff from Spoony. Very exciting stuff from Spoony there, where he's, letting us know about the amazing set that's going to be built. 2 years! Mind you, this set isn't even built until 2 years later. It takes him 2 years to build the set. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, my God. So here comes Spoony. Major announcement. Please read. This is very important concerning the rewards for everyone who's donated. Because there's so many of you, there are a lot of names to keep straight. I'm going to have to do everything I can to make this as organized as possible, but you have to follow my directions here to the letter, or you may not receive your reward by mistake. See, Spoony, it wasn't by mistake, it was just that you never sent any of the rewards. But I love how serious he's making this. You need to follow my instructions to the letter today, sir, or you will not be getting any reward. Well, it didn't matter if they followed his directions to the letter or not, because they still didn't get shit. No one got shit. No one got anything. Seriously, I'm setting up email filters to catch everyone's name and get everyone organized. Here's what you have to do. Those of you with multiple rewards, send separate emails for each reward. Email Patreon credit at Spoony with the name you'd like to be credited with. If you have a free photo, free photo, they have to pay for the free photo, Spoony. It's not a free photo. It was never a free photo. It was like $25 or $20 or something like this shit. But you have to email him like for each of these. If you have a free audio greeting, by the way, he never recorded any of the audio greetings. If you have a movie commentary with the movie you'd like us to do, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. He never recorded any audio commentaries for any movies. Not one. Not one. None of them. Cards Against Humanity players. Oh, shit. If you have a DVD, just wait a while. The DVD is still in the planning stages and is nowhere near finished. It would never be finished. I'll start collecting mailing addresses for that once it's in production. I'll get to work on all of these rewards, but I can't let them dominate my normal workload. April will be helping me out with mailing and whatnot. You'll have to be patient. We're still waiting, Spoony. It's 2020. It is 2020. We are still waiting from May of 2014. What's crazy about this is that it was a DVD of him doing a riff track on like 2 movies. All he had to do was sit down with April, okay, watch 2 episodes of Captain Zero, which I don't even know what that is, riff on it. He wasn't even going to write a script for it. You'll read that in a later post. All he had to do was record these 2 things, burn it to 150 DVDs, and ship them to addresses. This is all he had to do. He couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to do this. Go, oh, I have this heavy workload. Even in the best of days, Spoony was a lazy who put out maybe 1 piece of content a month. In the best of times, he was always lazy. He could never keep a schedule. There was no workload. Any workload he ever had, in the old days, he used to unload it on Scarlett. And then in this era, he used to unload it on April. So there was never any grunt workload from running the back end of the site or the forums or this or that. He had like a personal servant, his girlfriend there, who would have mailed all these things out. He couldn't delegate the work and the tasks. He couldn't sit down to record a riff track. You wonder why he's homeless. You wonder why he's homeless. Think of this. You have $600 a month riding on a card game. And you can't even... We'll get there when we get there. We will get there when we get there. Here come the excuses about the cards game. I haven't forgotten about Cards Against Humanity. I'll look into scheduling this in the next couple of days. I'm scripting my next review at the moment. Again, I'm shooting for the end of the month. Probably the last weekend of the month if possible. But I'll check the emails you sent, and I'll see what's most convenient for everyone. I got 9 emails, which means someone didn't send me their schedule. This means that there were 10, count them, 10 people who gave Spoony $100 a month to play a card game. It is live anonymous user. He had $1,000 a month riding on doing a card game once a month. And he f***ed it up. $1,000. Think about that. Think about that. You have $1,000 a month in just pure income cash coming to you for playing a card game. And he's struggling to like organize this card game. And we'll see again and again as he fails to organize the card game. That is $1,000 a month in revenue. Man. Whoa. Just insane. So anyway, he says, how does Saturday, May 24th sound? Blah, blah, blah. So here he goes. I've started work on the photos, so some of them will be going out today. The other rewards will follow. The photos never went out. None of them. And neither did the other rewards. I think the only rewards he ever actually delivered on was he did do the Cards Against Humanity game. I think 3 times he succeeded. And it up for the remainder of the 4 years. 6 years. Oh my God, it's been going on forever. Eddie, I got to get back to this. We got to get through this, guys. Paul, this is a pretty indulgent stream, but if you're into Spoony and shit like this, I think you'll like it. If not, f*** you anyway. I don't even want you as a fan. I've started work on the photos, so some of them will be going out today. The other rewards will follow. I don't have an ETA on them, and the people who are getting photos first are basically chosen at random. Sorry if I'm moving slowly on these. They'll get done, but I'm focusing primarily on the show. Which, again, the episodes didn't even come out. Oh, my God. It's funny, as fantastic as all the support is, it's really put a ton of pressure on me. It's like a woe is me attitude. He's at like $3,000 or something a month. And now he's talking about, you know, how much pressure is on him. He goes, I may have to ease off, though. I've been pulling all-nighters 2-3 times a week trying to get this next Ultimate review out ASAP. These RPG reviews really kick my schedule in the balls. I'm pretty mentally wrecked. Dude, you're playing an RPG game for your job. Dude, what the f***? And like, you're doing all-nighters 2-3 times a week? Does anyone believe that? Even at the time, like, he goes, half the photo, oh, this is just rich to me, because these photos didn't come out. Alrighty, half of the photos have been mailed. I'm going to start working on the audio greetings soon. He says this in 2014. The audio greetings never came. April and I will select one of the commentaries at random this weekend. Cards Against Humanity is coming up. I'll follow with those guys by email. It might be a little while, 2 years it would be, before you see the Counter Monkey set updated. What's funny is that I want to record some Counter Monkeys right now, instead of improving the set at the moment. So right now I've got to get a review done ASAP, I've got to get some monkeys done ASAP, and I have a convention coming on Friday. I've also still got to find some good pieces for the set. The sites you sent me are decent enough, but darned expensive at full price. So now this is where the pressure really sets in, when he hits $5,000 a month. Okay, now, you guys are starting to scare me. This level of support is truly amazing. Every time I see the Patreon number, I'm staggered. I'm starting to wonder if you're going to call my bluff when it comes to this whole movie thing, because I'm not really sure I can pull that off and keep doing the show, you know? Like, at this point, Spoony should have just outright said, guys, I can't do a movie. Guys, I have no idea how to make a movie. I'm f***ed. I'm sorry I promised this. I can't deliver. He should have just told people outright, I'm sorry I promised this shit. I can't deliver it. But he never had the balls to actually tell any of us that he could not deliver the fucking product. And the thing of it is that Spoony had actually been on the set of a couple movies by this point. He had been on Kick-Assia and Suburban Nights and To Boldly Flee. He had done all these shitty movies, and nobody would have expected anything more than that. He couldn't have asked Doug for help. Like, he either should have just said, look, flat out, I can't fucking do this, or just went to Doug's house and filmed something in a weekend with Brad Jones and just said, here's your movie. But no, this fucked him up. This really fucked him up. And I've never read this post before. So we're going to go through this post, because this is where, like, the pressure is really starting to fucking grind into Spoony. This is what's going to wear him down and cause him to fall apart. So continue. So he says, let me put it this way. I'm stressed out of my mind. I'm trying desperately to find a way to deal with it, because I'm on the verge of burnout, which is why I'm struggling with the extreme generosity of the Patreon thing. I'm feeling pressure to earn this huge outpouring of support, but I'm pushing myself too hard to do it. At the same time, my video output stinks. I'm not getting enough video content out, and my ad revenue is in the toilet. This is why I'm turning to Patreon in the first place. I kind of need the money here, especially with the new house. Whatever you may think of me, I really do work my ass off. Let me repeat, I really do work my ass off. Spoony, there are motherfuckers digging ditches. There are motherfuckers, like, who are soldiers, who go into combat situations. There are doctors who work 60, 80 hours a week, CEOs who work 80-hour weeks. There are motherfuckers who are just struggling hand and mouth to survive as day laborers, working construction, laying bricks and shit like this. And this man has the balls to tell you that he's working his ass off, playing video games and watching movies. The balls of this fucking statement. I mean, man, if I was this guy, because this is what I had this dream of being this shit. But as you read this, you realize why it's not actually a dream to be like this person. It's a fucking nightmare. Shit, man. you know, but he's like recognizing like his video output stinks. Well, if you're working your ass off, why can't you put videos out? It's because you're lazy, you know. He's talking about how his ad revenue is in the toilet. Well, it might be because you're not putting out any videos, you moron, you mongoloid. And with your Patreon, the money coming in with this Patreon, it more than supplemented what you lost in ad revenue. Holy shit. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. I'm resolved to being a lot more diligent in scheduling my work day from day to day, marking on a calendar what I'll work on each day. This never happened. Shit, man. Like, he's just scamming these people. Just scamming them. I think that alone should help structure me and keep me from being overwhelmed. Oftentimes, my approach is so scattershot. I get 1% of 1,000 things done, but overall very little is accomplished. And this is one of the problems, is that Spoony had no fucking word of a lie, like 20 projects on the go at all times. And of those 20 projects, maybe 2 or 3 of them would see completion. So instead of just focusing on, okay, I'm going to do a movie review this week, video game review next week, 2 Counter Monkeys the week after that, as kind of a break as I start to script something else, do another review. Instead, like Doug Walker had it to a science. The review is coming out every Wednesday at this time. Every week there's going to be a review at this time. Instead, Spoony would, for whatever reason, and I think it was just to avoid working, he would have 20 different side projects at once, do a tiny little bit of work on each of them, and then pretend like he was working hard. But like, it was bullshit. It was all just an excuse for laziness at the end of the day. Shit. It just continues, this post. But that leads me back to the movie goal, which you guys are wonderfully in danger of reaching. I mean that with awe and gratitude and also fear. With my workload, his workload, ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 major priorities at the moment: the Spoony experiment and Counter Monkey. Yes, I plan to make Counter Monkey a much more regular feature very soon. But if I decided to go forward with this movie thing, well, I don't know, that's scary. Let me remind you, for those of you who aren't aware, Counter Monkey is a show where he literally puts a camera down on a tripod like I have now and talks to the camera about video games for an hour. There's no script, there's no editing, there's fuck all to it. Fuck all. Oh my god. Anyway, like, look at this. Look at this shit. It gets even worse. I envy guys like Brad Jones, who seem to have limitless energy, or at least seem to work much more efficiently. But for me, something in my schedule has to give. And if something cut out a major portion of my already very limited video content, that'd slash things dramatically around here in terms of ad impressions and revenue. That'd hurt. He envies guys like Brad Jones who have limitless energy. I'm just here to tell you, Brad Jones doesn't have limitless energy. Brad Jones just has the bare minimum of energy to survive, to make content, to put one foot in front of the other, to hold himself to a schedule. He's not a Superman. It's Brad Jones. I like him. In fact, I love him. But come on, like, the limitless energy of the Superman, the Nietzschean ideal, Brad Jones, thus spoke Zarathustra. And there he was, the cinema snob. Shit, man. I guess compared to Spoony, Brad is a fucking Superman. Oh my fuck. Oh shit. Oh my god. So it's a chin scratcher. Maybe the movie goal was a mistake. Maybe not. It was. It was a terrible mistake, Spoony. Oh my god. Oh my. All right. If I made it a priority in my life, I can definitely say it would affect the site and the show noticeably. April suggested I raise the goal higher. Genius, April. What a scam. But to me, that's just yanking the carrot away. Look at this set. This next sentence is probably the most priceless one. This isn't about me scamming you for money. Let me repeat. This isn't about me scamming you for money. This isn't about me scamming you for money. Yes, that's not what it's about. Spoony's 100% sincere. It's not a scam. It's not a scam, guys. It's legit. Woo! All right. It's about making the show better. The show doesn't even exist. And letting you see what you want to see. I'd just like to see one more review. I may have to adapt the goal, though, because I want the show to continue as it is. There may be an end on the horizon, and maybe some of you can see it coming. And I think that'd be the time to plan for a movie. But I don't want you to feel misled. Like, what is he saying here? There may be an end on the horizon. So even here on the 15th of May, 2014, Spoony is basically just considering taking the money and running. That's basically what he's straight up saying here is like, guys, I think I'm just going to take the money and run. There's an end on the horizon. I've bought this house. You just have to wonder what his end game was. There just wasn't. It was like, I'm going to scam these fucking idiots for money. I'm not going to fulfill any of it. I'm going to ride off into the sunset with this house. But that would have been fine if he went and got a job or did anything else. But the problem was he just sat there and did fucking nothing. It's like, what the fuck? And even still, it wouldn't have been fine. It wouldn't have been all right. He fucking scammed all these fucking idiots. I guess they're idiots for even fucking donating. But really, the only reason we know people are, oh, fuck it. Oh, fuck it. Let's go to the next one. Or we'll never get through this. Look at this. So look at this. The very next post. Reading my last post, I realized I made myself sound a lot more disturbed than I'd meant to. Think about this sentence. I realized I made myself sound a lot more disturbed than I'd meant to instead of more disturbed than I am. Because he is that disturbed and he just didn't mean to let that on. It sounds like I'm complaining about the support more than being appreciative, which isn't the case at all. More like overwhelmed by it. I really do take the number as an increased responsibility. So the higher it gets, the more I need to deserve it. I hope that makes sense. You know I love you guys. So Spoony already there is like, oh, fuck, like, I've let the facade slip that I'm planning on scamming these people, that I don't know how to make this movie, that I'm not going to deliver on any of these rewards, that I'm having a fucking meltdown, I'm lazy as fuck, I can't work, my output's fucked, my ad revenue's fucked, all this crazy shit. And he doesn't even outright deny that he's disturbed. He just says, I came across more disturbed than I meant to. It's not even like an outright denial. So the next piece that he posts is that the Cards Against Humanity is going to be on Saturday. And the first Cards Against Humanity game actually did happen on the 24th of May, 2015. So that was like basically the only reward he ever delivered on was, and think of it, it was $1,000 a month. But somehow he kept f***ing this game up later. Oh, so we can actually now get links, because on the Patreon there were the links to the Cards Against Humanity games that I've never seen. So we can actually watch, and I might do this on a different stream, we can actually watch from that Patreon page, that link that I have that I shouted out at the beginning of the show. We can actually go back and watch these Cards Against Humanity games that Spoony was being paid $1,000 for, and we can determine whether or not you people out there at home would have sat through these cringy nerds or whatever it was that made it so he didn't want to make $1,000 a month. So that might be a live stream idea for the future. But I haven't checked those out yet. So here's the thing. Regarding recurring rewards, I've been asked whether or not people get rewards repeatedly every month they continue to donate. I'm not sure how to answer that, since it's the first time it's come up. As in, should people continue to get a signed photo each month? Or an audio thingy? I can tell you a movie commentary a month will be nearly impossible, and I'm already desperately behind on that score. I don't know really. If I say no, I risk driving away people. Maybe it can't be helped. So Spoony had set up like reward tiers for recurring payments that he felt were impossible for himself. So who's going to keep paying the $50 a month for the movie commentary when they've already received their one movie commentary? Who's going to keep paying the 10 or 15 or 20 bucks a month for the signed photo if they're only getting one signed photo? This is why offering rewards like this was fucking stupid in the first place, especially rewards that he couldn't repeat every single month with no measure of it's just ridiculous. He set himself up to fail, and if he had just course corrected in the beginning, or in the first number of months, or even in the first year of this scam, people would have forgiven it. They would have moved on. Some people would have been upset, sure, but he would still be around today. So now we get into more shit about the DVD that's never going to come out. DVD commentary confusion. There apparently has been some confusion, even to April, about what kind of DVD commentaries we're making. I thought it was clear in the description, but these are not riff tracks. They are not riffs. They are not fully produced riffs in the form of pre-written, scripted comedy commentaries where we talk about the movie and talk about whatever we want. It could be honest analysis, tangential discussions, or whatever. It's true April and I often riff on movies when we watch them, but again, we have not written anything in advance, and these commentaries are not intended as comedy riffs. I'm sorry if you feel misled. So my real question to that is, why the fuck was it never made then? Because you're putting zero effort in. You're not scripting any jokes. You're not coming up with, good material, anything like that. You're just doing straight fucking improv to a fucking audio recorder. And you couldn't do that? And slap it on a fucking DVD? It'd be one thing to make these excuses for the DVD if you said, I'm going to script it. If you said, it's going to have amazing production quality. It's going to have this. It's going to have that. But there was none of that. It was just meant to be a lazy, shitty riff. And he couldn't even deliver it. He couldn't even deliver it. What a disaster. What a disaster, folks. So here comes more excuses. I'll have updates for everyone soon. So this is now September. I think I have to repost all the old info for everyone, and I need to get the Cards Against Humanity game organized. Audio greeting and commentary, folks. I know, I'm months behind. You have no idea how terrible I feel about being so late on those. I'll have more info soon. How terrible you feel? June, July, August, September. It's been 4 months. And you know, it's been 6 years since that post and they're still not out. So I don't know how terrible you fucking felt, but you never actually made it right. Never. Never. Never made it right. Holy fuck. So Spoony reposts then, telling people to follow his instructions. This is verbatim the same post from May, where he's telling people how to get the photo and the audio commentary, all these things that were never delivered. Here we see him do Wrestle, which I actually liked, but most people hate. So there's some content coming out there. There's some content coming out, and here we are on the last page. And this is where it just starts to fucking fall apart. You know, it just starts to just totally and completely unravel here. In this particular post, oh, holy, is this a video? Let's watch this. Spoony opens this drink and it says, everyone knows. So everyone knows the Patreon's a scam, Spoony? Like, what was this meant to mean? What did he mean by this? He just posts this video. Everyone knows. I've never seen this until this exact moment. Everyone knows what? What did he mean by this? What the Then he's got his video where he like tries to own the haters. Where it's like, you hate Spoony for hating the Spider-Man. Oh my god. You don't like me in April's review, you're a piece of shit. Oh shit. So then in October of 2014, Spoony answers the question where the money goes. Well, everybody knows where it goes, you f***ing idiot. Into your pocket. It's been asked where all the money goes from the monthly donations, which is a completely fair question. Well, I can't account for every single dollar. Here's the plain and simple explanation for a lot of it. My cost of living. My YouTube revenue is really... Oh, hold on, I lost it. My YouTube revenue is really a shadow of what it was because of Content ID and my constant struggles with the appeals process, cutting monetization off at the legs. It's been very difficult trying to stay afloat ever since my departure from Springboard Media, which was a pretty sweet deal. So here Spoony is like telling you guys, hey, since I know I haven't given you any of the rewards that I promised in 6 months now, and the Cards Against Humanity game is f***ed up and it's not been going on properly, you know, for my $100 backers, my $1,000 a month card game. But guys, you need to support me because I'm struggling financially. I'm struggling financially due to the evil Content ID system. The evil Content ID system that's f***ing over Spoony. Holy shit. It's important to note that this has nothing to do with my departure from that guy with the glasses. It has more to do with my issues with YouTube monetization combined with my relatively poor release schedule. I wonder why it's relatively poor. Could it be that you're lazy? It makes for a low number of ad impressions that don't pay much. True, a lot of that is my fault. I pour a lot of effort into each review to make them as perfect as I can. Quality matters to me, but my turnaround suffers massively for it. Back in the older days, I think I was turning around a lot more, but I wasn't putting out a polished product. Of course, a lot of people will say that's where I went wrong. Whereas previously I had riffs, SWAT reviews, etc. Now I focus almost exclusively on a review schedule. Things are a lot slower, and that's why I'm going to schedule my time better, to turn around that kind of varied content that made the site even more awesome back in the day. Quality matters to you? If quality mattered to you, you would have had, your rewards put out. The DVD would be out. The fucking audio recordings, the movie commentaries, they would be out if quality mattered to you. Saying quality matters to him. Do you know, it was once said, it is done if it is done well. I say it's done if it's fucking done. You know, when you sit there and you worry about if it's 100% polished and perfect to the point where you can't get any fucking work accomplished, then you may as well just fucking end it right then and there. You know, it's not ever going to be perfect. Okay? It's not ever going to be perfectly polished. And if you try and polish it too much, it's going to come off as inauthentic. You just got to get the shit out there. Get it done. That's why I like to go without a script from the top of my head, you know, just some basic points of what I want to cover on a show, and I go, and the content comes out. The content comes out. I don't know, a lot of these guys with the scripted content chalets, but even honest to God, Spoony, like Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, was able to get out as polished a review as you do every fucking week. Angry Joe was able to get it done at least once a month. You were struggling to get one a month, one every 2 or 3 or 4 months, even at this point. And people would have understood if, okay, well, we're only getting one review every 30, 40 days, but we're getting 5, 6 vlogs. And, you know, when he was putting out at least some vlogs and stuff like this, at least I would watch those and I would be entertained, waiting for his next polished, scripted review. But now he doesn't even do that. He just does nothing. He just tweets all day. Here he goes. Bottom line is, I created the Patreon essentially because my primary source of income had withered up on me. You guys are really supporting me now. And so I mean what I say when I tell you that without you, there is no show. The money's not going into a vault of gold coins I go swimming around in. I haven't forgotten you guys. I'm very angry at myself for ever delaying your rewards. Even if it was in favor of working on reviews, it's why I've instituted Patreon Day every week in my work schedule. You deserve to be rewarded. What was Patreon Day? What did that entail? Did anything ever happen on Patreon Day? Because as far as I know, there was like no Patreon exclusive content. There were no amazing reviews behind this paywall once a week. Trust me there, guys. I know that you've been waiting 6 months for... Trust me there, guys. I know you've been waiting 6 months for the rewards I promised, and I've delivered none of them. Other than a fucking card game that I get paid $1,000 a month. But guys, don't worry. I really appreciate you guys. I'm angry at myself. That's why in 2020 it's still not done. Oh. Anyway, I am also improving the recording setup here in terms of equipment, set design, etc. Part of that is going into my search for an editor. But I think you're right in that you need a more informed outline of the stuff I've been spending it on. So I will be showing you more detail on the cool stuff I'm doing with the donation money. I don't think this ever comes. I think you'll be pretty excited about it, and I hope you'll be proud of how seriously I am taking the responsibility of spending it. The responsibility of spending it? You mean the responsibility of saving it or doing something? No, the responsibility of spending. If you ask anyone who knows me, I'm always trying to spend it responsibly. Who knows you? None of us know your friends in real life or the people. We're going to ask Brad Jones? Ask anyone who knows you. What do you mean? Like your high school friends or something? Who would we ask? What the in the search for an editor, like if he asked for an editor, he had tons of people volunteering. If I asked for an editor, even me, I would get an editor quick. I'm sure one of you fucking idiots would want to be the editor. do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean a search for an editor? And then he always would think he had to pay the editor and this fucking shit. Like, oh my. Like, Kraut has people that do editing for him. Like, you're telling me that Prime Spoony didn't have the same pull on people as Kraut? Just saying there, Spoonster, you fucking idiot. So, okay. Now we hit Patreon Day. Patreon Day. Guys, it's Patreon Day. Hey guys, it's Patreon Day for me. So I'm doing a bunch of reward stuff. One thing I noticed lately is that I don't have to see as many requests for Patreon credits as I thought. It might be that Patreon collects your requests as you fill out your donation amounts. And I'm just not sure what the hell I'm doing. Well, that's probably the most accurate sentence Noah's ever said. I'm just not sure what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, here's what you need to do if you feel like he's saying that in order for him to put you in the credits of his videos, you need to send him an email. Why can't he just put your Patreon username as your name in the credits? And this is fucking in December. In December, Spoony. This is the December. And you still haven't figured out how to put fucking patrons' names in the credits? Somebody says even Jim would do that. Yes. Even the Medicare experiment would put the fucking patron usernames in the credits. Whoa. Crazy. So then it just gets even fucking stupider. This page is just full of so much fucking horse shit that we have to sift through the fucking lies. Just lie after lie after lie. Every single post on here is a fucking lie. Oh, I'm working on it, guys. It's coming. It's been 6 years, man. So anyway, we get into movie commentaries. This is a little awkward. I think April is nervous about getting behind the microphone for the movie commentaries. It seems like every week I'm nagging her about it, but I just can't pull her in front of the TV to do them. I don't want to throw her under the bus as she has to work like everyone else, but I desperately want to get these done, and I am months behind, and I really want to do them. They're fun. Problem is, the stated reward is a commentary with myself and April, not just me. There are lots and lots of people who have commentaries coming, so this is a big deal. Is it all right if the commentary is recorded by myself, or do you definitely want April in there? It's fine either way. She's doing them at last. Well, then why are you even posting this? But I can do more without always having to trick her into my room with shiny things. But wowee, how to handle this? God, I'm so far behind it, it seems insurmountable. But the only thing to do is to do it, which he didn't do. Well, I think what I'll start to do is emailing the people who come up on my list and ask them what they prefer. April will be fine either way, then why are you even posting this? Okay, holy f***. We're blaming April for your problems on why this hasn't been delivered in 7 months? Why you couldn't sit down and do a f***ing commentary over a f***ing movie for 2 hours? Why it couldn't be done in 7 f***ing months? And you're gonna blame it on April because she has a job? Your girlfriend is helping to support you by working a job, which, by the way, she worked like 15 hours a week. It was a part-time job. But yes, it's April's fault you haven't fucking delivered on any of the promises that you said, you fucking lying scumbag. It was 7 months. No, this is 8 months. This is a new year. This is January 1st of 2015. It's still not done. It's April's fault. And the reality is they're asking. Just fucking do them yourself. But you're lazy. It's you who doesn't want to do them. And you're blaming it on April. No one would feel shortchanged. It's the Spoony experiment, not the April experiment. Jesus. That just pisses me off. And then he wonders why April left him, didn't want to have anything to do with him. When he blames her, for his failings because she has a job. Shit, man. It genuinely pisses me off. So then we end up talking about the Cards Against Humanity game in December. Hey guys, the holidays had us running a bit late, and then I had friggin' kidney stones? The new excuse is kidney stones? He's having pass out pieces of rock through his urethra. So yeah, our game is still on. How does next weekend sound? I've been looking into some of the other games you guys had mentioned. He wants to play test games like Town of Salem and Fibbage. So right there, what he's trying to do is he doesn't like Cards Against Humanity at this point, and he's trying to change the game. So he's saying, hey, I heard from you guys that you had suggestions for this or this. No such suggestions came. These people were paying $100 a month to him to play a card game. RJ, for real, Surfer, I'm going to ask you something. If you were paid $1,000 a month to play one card game with 5 autistic people, would you do it?
Well, yeah, buddy. It's not that difficult to play one card game. But didn't this happen like 7 years ago?
Well, he just
Wasn't this 7 years ago?
Yes!
What are we doing?
It's important. It's important, damn it, Surfer. Yes, it is. This is the single most important content I ever make. The most important content. Fuck you, Trifox, for doxing Surfer in the chat, you bastard. You bastard,
Hey,
you.
buddy, I get you with the fucking electric fly swatter there, pal.
You're gonna get Trifox with the...
Fucking spank him with it like I spanked his mother.
He's gonna
And we can
spank
see
his
these
mother.
Trifox. You know, so fucking cool it. I'll get you with the fucking fly swatter, buddy.
Perspective check. Reality check from... This was 7 years ago, and it's an autistic video game reviewer. Reality check. No! No, damn it! No! This was my childhood! This is my childhood, damn it!
Buddy,
And it's being robbed from me.
I can't imagine ever watching Spoony and being entertained. Like, I've never
Well-
even watched the guy before.
Well, that's your problem. That's not our problem. That's your problem. You know.
No, I don't
If
think
you
it's a
missed out,
problem.
you missed out.
You know,
You missed
I don't
out on
think
the
it's that
glory.
big of a deal.
You missed out
You
on
know?
the glory of
I don't think I
Spoony.
missed anything.
You missed
You
out
know?
on the glory of Spoony, the golden age of Noah Antweiler, and now you will never recapture the magic of those days.
Well, that's alright, buddy.
But anyway, Spoonie's crying about fucking kidney stones. Then he gives another excuse about the December Cards Against Humanity game. He goes, it's late notice. April and I have just bought a house, but we tentatively scheduled a game tomorrow. Obviously, I never confirmed this over email with any of you, so I have no idea who's in or not. Mind you, these are people who are paying him $1,000 a month, and this is absurdly short notice to double check. So here's what we can do. We can either try tomorrow, or if by some miracle everyone confirms, we can push it to next week. Here are the times I was thinking. Like, he can't even f***ing organize a f***ing card game. Whoa. Whoa. The excuses, yeah, I have kidney stones. Oh, by the way, I bought a house. Oh my f***ing God. Look at this now, and it just gets even worse. Cards Against Humanity final update. I'll contact each of you individually very soon to see how to best proceed. I've completely fumbled December's game to the point where we can choose to work something out on an individual basis. Maybe to join me and choose what to play next time I live stream or something. I've been delayed so much, you are owed at least a capital lettered favor, and those are darn valuable. We'll talk about it soon. So these motherfuckers are giving him $100 a month. $100 a month. And he can't find a 2-hour block of time for these people to do a card game. Like, whoa. Cards Against Humanity, February. Hey guys, April and I are finally reaching some semblance of normalcy. But unbelievably, after a month, we still don't even have a couch. It's ridiculous how long it takes to get people out to do labor for you out here. So Spoony actually does not have the ability to go to the furniture store and purchase a couch and just carry it to his home himself because he's so weak. But honest to God, like, in a month's time, you couldn't get some guy from the furniture store
what are you gonna do?
to deliver a
You're
couch?
gonna carry a fucking couch on your back from the furniture
Well, he has a car. He had a vehicle.
You know.
He had a vehicle. There's really no
He's
excuse.
so weak, he can't even carry a couch by himself all the way from the furniture store.
Well, again...
How about you give that a try there, buddy? Again.
What?
You know, in more relevant news, I just got the fly that I've been chasing for the last 7 minutes. In the office, I just fucking swatted her. You know, just the overhand fucking swat. And it hit the top of the desk, and you could hear it just fucking from the electric bolts, just fucking going all nuts. So then I hunted around for it, like when you shoot a deer and you're following the blood, and then I found it and I fucking crushed it. I got it, but I gotta go back to work.
There's nothing more relevant than Spoony.
Yeah, buddy, I'll let you get back to your Spoony documentary.
I'm deeply insulted that you would say that Spoonie's not relevant. Like, it just is insane to me.
That's alright, buddy. That's alright. Go back to work.
Can you motherfuckers believe that shit? It's 8 years ago. It matters to me. It matters to me. Do you know how much it matters to me? You understand that? Anyway, like, he couldn't get a couch to his fucking property, so he can look at this shit. Anyway, I haven't forgotten about Cards Against Humanity, even if the February game is now a month late. I've had a few people, like, the February game's a month late. To all these people, I hope things get better for you. You know, like, look at this. There's people who emailed him telling about how they've had to alter their pledges because of life. Like, they've emailed Spoony themselves to let them know. Like, they feel so bad that they can't support Spoony. They're like, hey, man, like, I lost my job. I'm really sorry, sir. I'm going to try my best. And, you know, he can't even get these card games together for these people. Like, whoa. So then look at this. Then he tries to change it. He goes, also, I had an idea for a new game we can try. I don't know if you're familiar with an older style board game I used to play called Talisman. There's a cool version of it now online on Steam. If there's interest, I can perhaps change this game or start a different reward tier altogether for those of you a little tired of cards. So for those of you who are down for Kawaii back in February, like, whoa, email me at patreon.cards in the subject line and we can talk about scheduling. These people paid $100 a month to play this card game, and he's like changing the card game. He goes, I'm endeavoring this month to post more progress reports on all my projects, almost more to remind myself of how I'm doing. My thoughts have been turned inward to the movie. It's still little more than a collection of a half dozen pages, each page representing a different movie outline. So there's 6. So think of this. He has crafted 6 different movies with 6 different outlines. This is as far as I think the movie ever got. So he says, that it may not seem like much, but writing it down is a formality. By the time it's on paper, I pretty much have the entire thing straight in my head. Look at this. That may not seem like much. It's not. By the time it's on paper, you have the whole thing in your head. A lot of my writing process is spent slouched in a chair, brow furrowed, staring at a blank screen. The typing occurs in my head in some weird Zen trance. Anyway, I've started cutting out the ideas that don't work. I mean, yeah, I love the movie idea about a metal band riding winged steel horses that are made of lightning, but I don't think I'm ready to film a spiritual sequel to Flash Gordon. The best idea I have so far, and probably the most feasible, is a sort of counter monkey movie that follows the journey of a role-playing group in the real world and then dives into the fantasy world as the game plays out. There's been a lot of demand for this, and I do like the idea. The only things holding me back are, one, I really, really don't want to be a rehash of The Gamers. I don't even know what that is. And two, I was sort of hoping to make a movie that stands on its own, if that makes sense. Like, what a fucking dipshit. Buddy, like, you're not going to make a fucking multi-million-dollar film that was going to stand on its own. Like, it was always going to be an in-joke movie for the fans. Like the Linkara movie or Kick-Assia, if it was ever made. Or, like, even the AVGN movie, man. That really doesn't stand on its own. If you show the AVGN movie to somebody who's never seen The Angry Video Game Nerd, they're going to go, this sucks ass. You know, you show it to a fan of James, they're also going to say it sucks ass. Or it's not very good. But, you know, like, he should have just had a sense of reality. I do think the movie needs a different spin that I need to come up with. As for the second thing, stop bitching and give the people what they want, Spoony. Honestly, I have no problems with a counter monkey movie. I think it's just the way of comedians sometimes that they get an irrational urge to make a not comedy. What kind of not comedy? Well, that's what the other ideas are. Horror. What? An idea I've been struggling with for years? A superhero story? And a love story comedy? What? Who? What? What? Who was asking for that? Yeah, make us a horror movie, Spoony. Make us a rom-com, Spoony. Somebody's already stolen the joke in the chat, which is his life turned into a fucking horror movie. We're actually living in the Spoony movie. Oh my god, I figured it out. Holy fuck. This whole time I was blind. The Spoony movie was made. And we're living in it. We are watching the horror movie that is Spoony's life. It was made. The horror movie that was Spoony's life. It was made. Again, there's another Cards Against Humanity update. All right, I'm going to show you guys. All right, we're going to look at a few more of these. I was going to go to the last one, but we're going to look at a few more of them because a couple of these are just ridiculous. So this was Spoony's last thing. He promised that he would review Rat Rap, and he never did. Do you have any idea it is how to transcribe the dialogue of a f***ing rat puppet who speaks primarily in awooga horn noises? Max Headroom edits, crash zooms, and epilepsy. Send help. Sorry again. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for missing yet another of my deadlines. I was hoping to have a Black Hole of Board Games episode ready by Halloween, and circumstances have made that impossible. I'm recording more Counter Monkeys over the next week to make up for it. Actually, I was going to record a bunch last week, but illness between myself and April has been pretty bad. My bipolar has flared up with a vengeance, and I've started a new medication. We're optimistic that this will help a lot. With psychiatric medication, oftentimes treatments have to evolve. Anyway, I'm sorry again. I understand your reluctance to continue supporting the show in light of these absurd delays. At least you realize all I can say is that the reviews are coming. At this point, there would actually never be another review. The reviews are coming. At this point, there would never be another review. But, you know, the reviews are coming, and hope that you trust they'll be worth the wait. Some fucking wait it's been. They better be pretty fucking good. It's been 5 years. 5 years. Holy. Here we go. Lots of wild content coming soon. No more content would ever come out after this post. I'm recording a new season of Counter Monkey in the next couple of days, just after filming the new review. It's filmed already. Very exciting stuff. The list of monkey topics is a lot of fun this time around. Got some Shadowrun, AD&D, a lot of obscure fantasy stuff. He's made changes to his stretch. For those of you who are still owed rewards, they will be honored when I can get them done. It's June of 2016. It's more than 2 years. 2 years. 2 fucking years since he first promised this. 2 years. And he said, I feel like I need to focus on putting out a consistent product. I feel like that too, buddy. Instead of dividing my focus to side projects. He says he's got a lot of really good riff videos lined up. And then we have the final... where is it? Let me see if I can get these photos to pull up. So here we have the final images. This is the last image that Spoony ever put out on Twitter or on Patreon, which is of his Counter Monkey setup. Now look at it. It actually looks pretty cool. You know, the table and all that. Here's, you know, he's got his Alien. He was going to do a Counter Monkey on Alien. But this set was never used. Not even one time. And that's just sad, man. Like, he put together this set, fundraised for 2 years to get the set, put it together, and that was the only thing he ever delivered on, and then he didn't even finish the review of it. And what was the results of this? How did his Patreon go? Well, I just want to show you guys here the lifetime results of his Patreon. So up here, it's, you know, it was at nearly $5,000 a month. And just, you know, by that point, it was still $2,000 a month. And then he just never made anything again. Still over $1,000 a month, even after he hadn't made videos for a year. You know, look at this. And this last month, he actually has dipped to like $295. His earnings are down 93% from the peak. His Patreon numbers, he used to have 629. It's now down to 98. And that's the consequence of that constant fucking, like, just defeatist attitude that this man had. This caving into pressure, promising things that he could never deliver. And then I'm going to show you guys exactly kind of what's happened to Spoony, because Spoony tried to... You're done, aren't you? All right, I'm going to move to the office here quick to finish this show. Do whatever the you want out here. But I'm going to show you...
Buddy, do you know what I just found out?
What?
That if you had 13 28-day months, that would be 364 days. So if you could actually have 13 perfectly 4-week months, except for one would have an extra day, and then you'd have the leap year system the same way.
Oh.
I think that makes way more sense than having 12 months in there.
No, I think it actually does make more sense, but then there'd be 13 months, and that's an unlucky number. I'm going to guess that's probably the reason why it's not like that, Surfer. So, where did this lead Spoony? Well, it's led him to the state that he's now in today. And I'm just going to show you guys the opening of his latest live stream, which he put out about a week and a half ago, about 10 days ago. And you can see where all these excuses, all this laziness, all this procrastinating and slacking and depression and feeling sorry for himself has got him. Just look at this. There he is. Look at him. Look at him.
I don't know if I'm live.
Like, he's a broken man. He's gotten fat. He's lost his smile. He's balding. His hair that's there is greasy. He looks like an alcoholic.
I don't know.
I'm going to let him tell you this story, because this story is one of the most depressing things.
Good start. I definitely cannot see you guys right now.
This is where it all ended up. And this is where you'll end up if you take this life path, where you just choose to avoid every responsibility in your life.
Crap.
You choose to just skate by with the bare minimum effort. You will be this 40-year-old man living with his parents. Greasy, dilapidated, broke. Unable to even formulate a sentence because he's stressed with anxiety. I mean, look at that. Do you want to be that? And that's like one of the ultimate messages of this show is that don't... And the reason I'm doing this is you don't want to be that guy when you're 40 years old. You don't want to be that guy. Like War Corpse, Hollywood God, who we're going to talk about next, but you don't want to be like this.
Just a moment. I gotta make sure you guys aren't here either. If I cut my hair off? No.
Look at it. Look at it.
How do I do this? It's been a while. Bear with me.
No shit, it's been a while.
It's been a very long time. I kept you waiting, huh?
No shit. You kept us waiting. He kept us waiting for reviews. He kept us waiting for Patreon rewards. He kept us waiting for any update on his condition. He sure kept us waiting. And now time's passed him by. He's a broken shell of himself. And it's all his fault. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's not anyone else's fault. It's not Miles' fault. It's not his parents' fault. It's his fault. He's a grown-ass man. Grown-ass man. He's 40 years old. It's not April's fault. It's not April's fault. I want you to keep showing, because I'm going to show you guys this whole story he's going to tell. It's taken him 2 minutes and 11 seconds. One of the most painful 2 minutes and 11 seconds I've ever seen.
That's not good. Not good at all. Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm trying a lot of new things right now. I have no idea if any of it works. It seems you can hear me. Unfortunately, I have problems.
Oh. What a statement. Unfortunately, I have problems. You don't say. You don't say, bud. You don't say. Oh.
Something's in my throat. Had this for weeks, but try and clear my throat. One thing that I had bronchitis for like seriously 6 months straight.
Listen to this story. Now he's going to tell you he's had bronchitis for 6 months straight. I don't even think that that's possible. But anyway, let him tell you this story.
And this was right around the same time I had the car accident where I broke some ribs, which that was fun. It wasn't fun. My voice is not the same, and I can't get my voice into the higher register. Like, just I try and no noise comes out, and I'm afraid I don't know. I'm gonna go try to see a doctor when I can, but I think it might be permanent because I was hacking up my lungs for 6 months with broken ribs.
So this is the new story is he's broken his ribs. He had bronchitis for 6 months and now his voice is permanently f***ed. He believes now that his voice is permanently f***ed to where he can't speak in a high-pitched voice at all. And so because of this, he can no longer be an entertainer and he's like mentally broken. Just listen to him go here. Listen to him go here. Like, I had bronchitis with broken ribs for 6 months.
But so I'm having to speak deep from my diaphragm because if I try to speak high, it's just, I'm not trying to do it. Like,
It's a broken man. Like it's a f***ing broken man. Like he's just sitting there saying like I'm broken. It doesn't even work. And what's sad there is as he's doing that, you can see flashes. You can see these little glimpses of the man that he used to be. As you go through this Death Stranding stream, there are these little moments where you go, man, that's still Spoony. That's not just some alcoholic, unwashed bum on the side of the street. That's Spoony, man. And you feel bad. You go, like, what a waste of talent. And this is a real warning for people that are talented. That's why I bring this up a lot, is because there are a lot of guys who are really, really, really talented and they have a lot of promise. And they can really do great things if they set their mind to it and they work hard. But because they're talented and they're used to being able to get away with putting in a minimal effort since they're so talented and they excel above average people, they get into the habit of not trying and not putting in effort. And eventually, if you continue in that habit to the point where you avoid all responsibility and avoid all work and put forth no effort, you will have nothing. Absolutely nothing. And even the talent that you once had will start to fade away. And the age will take it away from you. And the age will rob you of a lot of things. Your physical ability it will take first, and then it will take your mind. And you can see here that Noah's body is being taken away. He's an alcoholic. He's f***ed up. Here he's saying his voice is f***ed. He can't do high register like, like it's bad. It's bad. And so if you, and again, I it's pretentious to say, oh, I have talent and this sort of thing, but I can see some of those same personality traits that Noah has that led to him failing in myself. And you have to be honest with yourself and say to yourself, do I procrastinate? You know, do I fucking skate by? Do I not keep myself to my schedule? Do I not follow through on my goals? Because if you're not doing that, if you're falling into these bad patterns of behavior, you need to change it. And you know, I just really don't want to see anybody else end. Like, this is just very sad for me because when I was growing up, this guy was like my favorite, and I spent hours and hours and hours and hours listening to him. I could listen to him talk about anything, wrestling, movies, even Dungeons and Dragons, shit I had no interest in. He found a way to make it entertaining. And now to see him like this, it's just sad. Anyway, I'm going to let him keep going here because it's just like, whoa.
No, it wasn't a bacterial infection. It was viral bronchitis. So they basically can't do anything for it, except all they tell you and all that you really can do with viral bronchitis is to basically drink Robitussin DM like right out of the bottle. Just shitloads of it. I should have bought stock in Robitussin. For how much? I hate fucking Robitussin, and it never gets any better. Yeah, punished Spoony.
Really is.
Robitussin doesn't make you trip. It doesn't. At least it didn't make me. But I was on like 3 different types of like steroid anti-inflammatories.
What?
In my throat.
What?
What else? I had to keep. I was coughing so much I was about to pass out. I couldn't actually get oxygen in. So they had me do like these, like some kind of vapor treatments where I basically had to wear a gas mask for like 30 minutes, and they just pumped air into your. It worked, but I had to keep going after the urgent care. Like
Press 1 if you believe him. Press 2 if he's lying.
And what happened was I was really fed up with it about 3 months in, and they determined. Thank you, Alice, very much.
Everyone thinks he's lying.
They determined
Except
that
Internet
it was
Hard Case thinks he's
viral
talking.
bronchitis with a secondary infection of my chest wall. So I had 2 plagues now.
2 plagues.
It's taken its toll.
Do you know what I think is actually taking its toll with Spoony? Now, call me crazy, but he looks like he's an alcoholic. Call me crazy, but he looks like an alcoholic. That he's just been on the bottle every day. He doesn't leave his house. He never exercises. You know, that's what it is. I think it's straight up like alcoholism. You think he's not bloated enough? Well, hold on. You hold on. You wait until we get because there's still a moment. We're going to play a few more minutes of this story because he's going to keep going. And then we're going to skip ahead to when he puts himself as full screen. Because he tries to do this live stream of Death Stranding. But the issue is that his computer is no longer powerful enough to run Death Stranding because he doesn't have the money to upgrade his computer to play it. Because he's a bum with no job. Anyway, let's get back to it.
I don't feel like I have to cough, but I feel like I'm always trying to clear my throat. And it's really maddening. Anyway, you don't want to hear about my problems. It's been rough.
You don't say.
I feel okay. Vocal polish? I don't even know what the that means.
Do you feel okay?
But as soon as I get to Arizona, which hopefully will be soon, I can see about that. but that actually, I wasn't scared, but I'm pretty sure that my voice is like permanently ravaged. Um, it was bad. Listen to Dr. Fauci now. He just had his removed, his lungs or his polyps, and then I had a massive nosebleed 2 hours ago.
That's where it took the piss for me. It was like, you've had these two plagues, your voice is permanently this, that, the other. I'm like, okay, I can believe it, whatever. And then finally he's, oh, and I just had this nosebleed. And I go, you are so full of fucking shit. You are so full of fucking shit. Anything to be the victim, anything to fucking make excuses for why your life sucks, other than taking responsibility for it. That's where it took the piss for me, and I realized that this entire time he was lying, that everything that he was saying about his medical conditions was lies. What it is what he's doing here is he's doing this like pity me, throwing a pity party, so people on this live stream will throw him super chats. And the only reason he does these live streams ever so often is to try and make a couple of fucking bucks. So, like, one time he said he needed pants. He no longer had any pairs of pants. And he needed $20 for pants. He was forced to live stream in the gutter for a pair of pants at 38 years old. 39 years old. Whoa. Let's get back to it. Whoa, man. That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me someday, guys. Guys, please. Please, I need a pair of pants there, guys. Guys, I'm so fat. Guys, please. Please, I need a pair of pants. You're 40 years old, yelling into my phone for a pair of pants. Oh, let it never be, Lord. Shit. Please, God. Oh, shit.
I don't know where the that came from, but I haven't had a nosebleed in years. Sorry, I got cough. So I'm dying of about 5 different things. It's possible that doing the barbarian scream, like, I can't do it anymore. It's gone. So, I had a poll
I don't
on what
think
game
he
you wanted me to
smokes.
play, and Death Stranding won out by like 2 votes.
So I don't think he smokes there, boys. I've never seen any evidence of that. Maybe he's picked it up, but I don't even know if he has money for it. Godwinson thinks, for instance, that Spoony has money to support him, like his fans will support him and stuff like this. But I genuinely think that Spoony has burned his fans to the point where, like, nobody supports him. Like, there's a few really crazy fucking people left. Like, if you go to his Kiwi Farms thread, you'll read about this real fat bitch who's like obsessed with Spoony, but she's like on the verge of getting evicted from her home anyway. Like, these are the sort of people who are still giving him money. You know? So I think he's just totally broke. Like, I don't think he can afford a pack of cigarettes. I hope, honest to God, his family at least gets him a U-Haul so that he can keep his shit. Because that shit's really valuable. And if he's not able to sell that stuff and it just sits in the house and gets thrown in a dumpster, that's a fucking shame. But it's to the point where he can't even, well, Perspicacity, sell it. You don't understand what the guy owns. Like, he owns really rare, out of print, like Dungeons and Dragons and RPG books and all sorts of shit that has a really high value. He owns tons of really rare games that have been gifted to him over the years, board games, video games, comic books. Like he has probably, I'd say at least $10,000 to $15,000 worth of memorabilia. But I think at this point, like his family is almost done with him. Like he's saying that they won't even get him a U-Haul. Like he's gonna have to basically get what few clothes and possessions he can cram into the back of his Honda Civic to drive from Illinois to Arizona. You know, and like he's tweeting about how he's worried about the drive, like that he feels like he won't even be able to handle the drive to Arizona because the stress is too much. He doesn't have enough confidence in himself to drive there. Man, like, whoa, man. Terrible. Terrible. So I'm going to show you the moment here when Spoony brings himself full screen, because this is a moment that is priceless, but also like really depressing. Really depressing.
You know, it's you know, it's just cheap. Oh, can I stretch my? Yeah, I can actually.
Well, 999 guy, you know, oh, so you might have had a better attitude than he did, right? Like he doesn't have any sort of determination to fix his life or to do anything. So even though you might have been broke and living out of your vehicle or whatever, you at least had the ambition to aspire to something, and you could travel light and this stuff. But like Spoonie's a and he's anyway. This is pretty fucking amazing here.
Oh, I'm big now. Oh, so good.
He goes, I don't look so good. Let me bring that back. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I can actually. Sorry. Oh, I'm big now. Oh, so good.
You don't say. You don't say.
And they did this in. They did this also in the second Wolfenstein game. I got fucking pissed off. There's a scene. He flashes back. Your guy flashes back to when his dad is this asshole, beats the shit out of him, and then he's
Look
like,
at the gray in his beard.
I didn't read.
Can you see that? He's gray in the beard. He's gray in the beard. His flesh is pasty. His hairline is starting to recede. The hair is greasy down over his shoulder.
No
yeah, the eyes are sunk in, right? Like rings right around his eyes.
I'm gonna teach you to be a real man. And then he takes him into the woodshed, chains the dog up, and forces him to shoot the dog with a fucking double-barrel shotgun. And the game makes you pull that trigger. Fuck you. And don't tell me, well, you can intentionally miss.
See, because look at him right there, right? There you can see a glimpse of, like, that's still Spoony. Like, he looks like a fucking unwashed homeless gentleman. But you can tell that, like, there's still a level of charisma to him, a level of talent and raw ability. But, like, he's fucked. So, I'm going to open it up here for a few minutes before I give kind of my closing summation on this, and you know what I think of Spoony. But if you guys want to give your take on Spoony, what he should or shouldn't do, I'll discuss it with you guys here in the chat. Mark says, let him go. He doesn't deserve you. Southern Dingo mentions Zoom. Look, here's the thing. Like, if this guy is just going to come in here and make that same comment over and over again, like, you're gone. Like, I don't care. Like, it's just... somebody says he looks really ill. He should delete his Twitter and get off the internet. See, that's one move where it's probably what he should do, but he doesn't want to work a real job. Like, he's refusing to get a job. People are saying for him to get a job, but like, he refuses to do it. The problem is he doesn't like responsibility. He doesn't like having a schedule. He wouldn't like having a boss. And I think that if he was working some minimum wage job, he would just snap at his coworkers and get fired anyway. Somebody says he's just going to end up having his corpse being paraded around by the 40 or so people that worship what he used to be. You might be right about that. Why doesn't he just make videos and play the stupid card game? I know, right? Like, all he had to do was play the stupid card game and make videos. He's making $1,000 a month from a card game. Get together with the fat chick and have her take care of him. Mike, that is the worst advice. I think you might be trying to be funny here, Mike, but like, whoa. That chick's crazy as Update his CS degree to contract work. I think his computer science degree is totally worthless at this point, isn't it? Maybe if he went back to school, but again, he's like 40. And the problem is a lot of employers, once you hit 40 years old, they don't want to invest into you because they know you have a limited future compared to a prospect who's in their 20s or even their 30s, right? But Mom says, honestly, I think he needs someone who can smack some sense into him. He needs some sort of military brother who's willing to beat him up and force him to shower and wake up. Well, he had that in Miles, right? And he was most stable, I think, when he was living under Miles' care. Miles is a police officer who killed an illegal immigrant, which is pretty based. But Miles wasn't even able to really keep him on track to where he had a really consistent schedule. But I think he was doing better from like a hygiene standpoint when he was living with Miles. So there's that. Spoony left when Windows 2000 was popular. That's what I'm saying. Like, his degree is worthless as Maybe him moving and getting away from April will either ruin him more or get him to actually do some work. It just seems like it's just this spiral where he's just... if it wasn't April, it would be something else. Like, he just doesn't want to do anything. Ian Brandon Anderson says he's been out of the game for way too long. The world moved on without him. To a certain extent with the videos, yeah. I think that if he did come back tomorrow making videos, I think people would watch him. And I'll get into my conclusions on that in my final summation. But no one would want to hire him, and he wouldn't want to work anyway. Somebody would hire him, like to deliver pizzas or sweep the floor or be a security guard somewhere he could probably get, or he could work in a call center somewhere. Like, it's not as though he couldn't get a job, even though he has kind of a gap in his resume of nearly 20 years now. You know, so... you think he'll always grift just enough to stay out of homelessness? I think so, too. I think he does the bare minimum to stay out of homelessness. I don't think he's ever going to really get there, because either his family's going to bail him out, or his few remaining fans might bail him out. But, you know, he just... all he had to do was make videos, Phoenix Shaman. You're absolutely right. Turn on the camera and complain about video games. That's all he has to do for Spiccacity. Get a physical part-time job to start introducing himself to society again. This is what he would do if he was a normal person, but the problem is he doesn't have a normal mindset, right, Mafia Cow? Like, he thinks that he's above that sort of a job because he was a YouTuber. And he was famous and a big deal. Yeah, I know, Foe's Noodle House. He does need a fucking job. He either needs to go get a job. Like, his parents need to make him get a job. Otherwise, he's just going to sit in his room all day and rot. You know? PPP, be honest, how much money did you give Spoony, and was it upsetting knowing you didn't get to play the card game? I've not given him a penny. That's not true. I I gave him all the Lemon Heist money. I gave him $1,100 to make another review. He didn't make the review. My money was wasted, but I tried. Spoony should work at Taco Bell as a taco artist. Oh, he just would think it's beneath him. If he'd make videos again, he could make it work, but he has to be forced to do it once his enablers go away. There isn't even that many enablers anymore. He's making $300 a month on Patreon. People really aren't buying shit off his wish list and games anything anymore. If he could find work in a sober living home. But that monkey is on his back hard habit to break. Yeah, we don't know for sure if he's an alcoholic or if he is on drugs, but it looks like he's been hitting the bottle pretty hard, or just like no sunlight, Mountain Dew and Doritos all day, every day, right? Spoony needs to get away from Twitter. He does, but it's like his only outlet. And so I don't know. Like, I wish he would never have opened his Twitter account. I think Twitter is a fucking shitty thing, actually. I'm probably going to get rid of it as well. I think Godwinson's had enough today. I don't know. Because the thing about Twitter is it's just you farting out your every fucking, thought, your every fucking little thought to people, and, I'd like to piss people off with it, but, it's just kind of the whole idea of the site limiting to 140 characters. I never liked that in the first place. And it isn't fun when you get banned for everything. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get banned anyway. Has he already been evicted? Mike asks. No. So his house was foreclosed upon, and what's the saddest thing about this all is that Spoony could have saved his house. He could have filed any number of motions to delay the foreclosure proceedings, to give him time to put some income together, get a job, and keep his home. But instead, he just no-showed the court appearances and didn't even try. He no-showed every hearing, every court appearance. His house got foreclosed on. Like when you no-show in court. Like, and also, when he was in that car accident, and he hit that bitch, he no-showed that as well. Because he just would rather not deal with it. And so at this point, like, I just don't even have enough faith in him to even collect his possessions to move out to Arizona. I think he's going to still be sitting in that house the day the sheriff comes. And that's why I call it Spoony's last stand, because I don't really know if he wants to go back to Arizona. I think he may kill himself. Maybe he's too egotistical to kill himself, but, I don't know if he's going to go back to Arizona. Like, I think he's just going to sit there in that house, not pack up anything until the day the sheriff comes and puts his ass out on the street. And either Spoonie's going to take it like a little bitch, or he's going to try and fight back against the police and suicide by cop. But, Spoonie's probably too much of a little bitch to suicide by cop, Yeah. Greasus Lupus has it probably right. Spoony doesn't have the gumption for suicide. 75% of addicts just end up being found OD'd. Again, I don't know for sure that he's an addict, but like, you look at this guy, I mean, dude, he looks like he's fucking an alcoholic, or he's on some sort of substance. Like, that's not the way a healthy human looks. I'm not probably the best guy to say that, considering I'm not the healthiest person ever. Ooh, look at that fat. Ooh. Oh. But yeah, he's on the Warski diet. What, of Coke? Where would he get the money? The money for what? Sorry, I didn't see what you might have been responding to my train of thought there. His downfall was finishing the Ultima series, left him with no fallback. He was never going to make a movie. He's far too narcissistic for suicide, probably on opioids would be my guess. That's tough. He's also on all these weird bipolar medications and all that shit. I think the Ultima series was the last thing he did that his heart was really in. And I think part of it is that he kind of ran out of things that he actually had a direct childhood relationship with. So we've seen this with a lot of the critics of movies and video games, is that at a certain point with AVGN, he ran out of games that he actually played as a kid, that he had a real relationship with. Same with the nostalgia critic with movies that he actually, and the cinema snob and stuff like this. And so they're then forcing themselves to do it as a job, and the passion isn't there, and the formula gets a bit stale. And unfortunately, that's why that really genre has kind of died out completely. Not that bad if you have a water filter, you can filter some cheap vodka. Oh, dude. Oh, first time viewer, are all your live streams done via cell phone? The format is kind of jarring, but I like what I'm hearing. For the most part, they are done in this style. I call it Kino Dogme 2007, kind of a ripoff of Dogme 95, where it's this idea that we do it as minimalistically as possible. We do it as close as we can to the sort of videos that were made on YouTube in 2006, 2007, where it was just a guy talking into a webcam. There wasn't a lot of fancy editing and stuff like this. Now, the odd time I do an edited video, but that's few and far between. So, at the end of the day, you either like it or you don't. It's not for everybody. And especially, again, and one of the reasons why I don't like the clip channels is because they really don't help me. Because if you just see me for 3 or 5 minutes, you're going to go, that's a f***ing fat. I don't like that guy. But if you watch lots of my shows and hours of my shows, then you start to understand kind of what I'm like, and then you'll like to watch me. I don't do well in a f***ing short form 2-minute clip. It doesn't really, I don't think, do justice to what I do. Because the first impression of me is, what a f***ing fat, disgusting piece of shit, and he's a f***ing asshole. So, you know, and I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, first time I saw you, thought you're a piece of shit. Now I like you. So that's why I don't think, like, T-Clips made me a star. Like, give me a f***ing break. Those probably hurt me more than anything. He is just too bipolar to function. Didn't that guy with the glasses, people hate his guts even back at Kick-Ass days? Yeah, but a lot of those people who hated him were just stuck up like Lindsay Ellis and Mars Girl and Obscurus Lupa. Like the actual bros like Joe and Brad and Doug stood by him and recognized his talent and recognized that even though he was flawed as a person, he still had redeeming attributes, and they stood by him. But a lot of those harpy, like, we can't go by what their opinion is. Do you know? Spoony impregnated Lindsay, and she aborted it. That's terrible. When's the next Cooking with Surfer? I think it's soon. It's going to be Swordfish, I think. Ronnie is still trying to get all the blue stars. With the Ronnie review, I don't know if it's ever going to come out now. I just don't feel right making fun of Ethan Ralph. Nostalgia, bro. Surfer is the... Well, some people believe that. Some people really like Surfer. Yeah, it's going to be SpongeBob if it ever does come out. I have, like, the thing of it is I had a whole season planned out with arcs for characters and introducing characters, all this stuff, and it's kind of almost like my Spoony movie, where it's never going to be reached. We're never going to come to fruition on that. I tried to burn the flag one time, and it didn't work out. How long would you give Spoony before he reaches the end? Well, this is it. Like, at this point, the time has come. Like, the time has come for him to decide what he's going to do with his life. So by the end of the year, it's probably going to be either game over for Spoony, or he sorts it the f out. First of all, a lot of people are trying to say this, that I fingered an altar boy. I'm not in the Catholic Church, so there are no altar boys. So try and come up with something that's even somewhat believable. You know, when you're posting on poll there, trying to own me there, I guess. Is Dingo white? No. I don't know. Who knows? We might do a show with Dingo here soon. You know, Dingo wants to do a show about Fuentes. I'll do a show about Fuentes with him. I haven't talked to Coach in a long time. Coach doesn't like us anymore. All right, I'll give you guys maybe a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to kind of give the summation, the final statement on Spoony, and then the show will be wrapped up for today. Been disowned by Coach, yeah. It's tough. Bait Coach to reappear. We've tried. He just won't. Do you still believe in his mantra of dating a girl under 25? Probably. I mean, I'm still under 25. I think it makes sense, at least in the sense of that's when a woman is fertile. So if you want to have children, you're going to want to date a girl who's under 30. You know. But you really can't take any of Coach's advice too seriously there, boys. Seriously. Juan But Not Forgotten. Yeah, we mentioned Juan But Not Forgotten. Miles shot an illegal immigrant gangbanger and saved many lives. Is Hamburger and a Hot Take canceled? No, it'll be back. It'll be back. I was going to do one on Jarbo, but then I just was like, no, I'm not going to eat McDonald's today. So, get an ugly girl to marry you. Well, see, if you marry a girl that's ugly, at least, you know, as the looks decline over time, because they don't last forever. The looks don't last forever, folks. So you need to have your relationship built on a little bit more than looks. It's not so, oh, personality, yeah. But you do need to build it on a little bit more than looks, because over the years they fade. So, 3D All-Star is fantastic. Crowd is moving to Canada, as far as I know. Well, yeah, Jarbo overstayed his welcome, and he f***ed up. Jarbo f***ed up big time. And I had to cancel his redemption arc because he's a f***ing idiot. Today he was trying to say that Trump has the blood of 200,000 people on his hands and all this. And I just don't think that it's fair to blame any of the world leaders and say that the deaths are directly their fault. I mean, every country has had deaths, other than, I think, like North Korea. So, there are no DMs to leak 999. There are no DMs to leak. And I don't leak DMs and I don't leak audio because I'm not a f***ing snake. Oh, it was racist to wear a mask. See, the whole thing is Jarbo is complaining about the response to the lockdown, when I know for a fact he wouldn't have shut down the borders because he would have considered that racist to shut down the borders. I remember Nancy Pelosi telling us we need to go shop at Chinatown and to not close the borders and all this shit. And this idea that Hillary Clinton would have closed down all the borders and travel, to me, is laughable. It's laughable. It wouldn't have happened. Then he's like, well, you're Canadian and you have universal health care. Anyway, that's a debate that, you know, I might call into Boulder Talk about, because just Jarbo is giving such a take on this, in my opinion. trying to put the blood on President Trump's hands, that it really bothers me. They wouldn't have closed down anything. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, yeah, on the borders, yeah. Well, they don't get it. Just briefly, and I know this is a Spoony stream and all this, but briefly, like, the Canadian healthcare system isn't that great. First of all, it's not free. This idea that it's free is fucking ridiculous, okay? Because we pay taxes for it. So you're paying for your healthcare one way or to other, okay? Now, it means everyone gets access to care, but the level of care that you get isn't very good. So let's face it, you don't get dental, right? Nobody gets dental. Nobody gets vision. Nobody gets pharmaceutical drugs for free. So it's not fully a universal system. What you're getting is you go to the emergency room in the hospital. You have to wait. I've never got admitted to triage in less than 4 or 5 hours. I've been there upwards of 7 hours waiting to get into triage, where they take your blood pressure. Then you'll be in triage for 2-3 hours waiting for them to send you to the next place. Okay, when I had to have my gallbladder taken out, okay, I was sitting in that hospital in a hallway for 2 days. I was in a hallway, in a bed, in a hallway for like 2 or 3 days. I think for one day I was sitting like in so much pain in my guts in a hallway bed for an x-ray. It's a day wait for an x-ray. Like, you don't get it. Like, you're waiting a day for an x-ray in a hallway. They don't know what's wrong with you. They send you for another test the next day. You have to wait another day to get an MRI, or a better scan than that is another day. So it was 3 days before they realized my gallbladder was and I was in a hallway for like 2-3 days before I was put in a room, and then they did surgery on me like I think the 4th day. But you don't even get care for like 7 hours, like minimum, because you're going to be in the waiting room at least 4 hours, and there's no times where you can time it as to where it's not busy, right? It's not like, oh, well, if I go at 3 in the morning, it won't be busy. No, it's just as busy at 3 in the morning as it is at 3 in the afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 7, midnight. It doesn't matter. There's no slow times. It's constantly packed full because it's free. So every person in the world is going into emerge for even the smallest problems, because the reality of it is, since we have socialized medicine and we don't pay doctors the same as they pay them in the United States under a private system, we don't have enough doctors so that everybody can have a family doctor. So if you even have a cold, a lot of families have no choice but to go to emerge and wait 6 hours to get prescribed an antibiotic for a flu or whatever. That's the reality of the system. Okay? And you pay half your income in taxes for this system. I understand that in the American system, some people die in the street. But the reality of it is they probably deserve to. The reality of it is I probably deserve to die in the street if I come down with an obesity-related condition. Why should other people have to pay for my mistakes? Why? Why should you have to pay for my health care when I'm slamming Big Macs into my blowhole? Seriously. It doesn't make any sense. Healthcare is not something that grows on trees. It's not something that costs nothing to produce. In order to produce doctors, they have to go to school for a long time. A long time. Hours and hours of study and discipline to learn how to be a doctor. They have to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into creating new drugs and new pharmaceuticals. They just have no idea how medicine works, a lot of these people. They have no idea how it is in a socialized system because they've never lived in it. You know, in America, you go to the doctor, you see him right away. You see him right away. You don't have to wait on a waiting list for 10 years for a family doctor. You can get one. So that's all I'm going to say about healthcare. I understand a lot of people are in favor of a universal system for this reason or that reason. They think it's great or whatever. But I'm just telling you guys, my experiences with it have not been positive, and not even crutches are covered. When I tore out my ACL, I had to pay $75 for crutches. That's not even covered by the system. If we had a nicer America, yeah. Granted, you're in LA. Well, wait a minute, man. You live in California. You basically live in Canada anyway, bro. All right. The hospital you went to, the lights are flickering, the ceiling tiles are missing. I don't know, man. I guess some hospitals in the U.S. are really up. The hospitals here are up too, man. I'm just telling you guys, there is no perfect system. It's not a perfect system. A lot of people are waiting years to be treated for cancer and they die. They wait, it's like 6 months to see a specialist, sometimes a year to see a specialist if you have a serious problem. So, all right, so final summation on Spoony. We've gone off into diatribes and universal healthcare discussions and all this stuff. But final summation on Spoony is this. Guys, Spoony has a choice to make. It's very simple. Like, he has basically 3 options. You know, option 1 is to just do absolutely nothing, be thrown out into the street like a bum and be homeless. If he goes to his parents, sit there and waste away, do nothing until they kick him out, and he just dies in a gutter. That's option 1. Like option 2 is that Spoony, when he gets back to Arizona, so he figures it out, he goes back to Arizona, he gets a job. He gets a job and he has a normal life. Option 3, which is what I think he should do, honest to God, is start streaming again. Start not streaming, but start making reviews again. Start making videos again. You know, when you look at this, even after all the years of abuse, all the years of treating his fans like shit and scamming them and being an asshole and doing all this stuff and producing nothing, look at his most recent video, right? Still 14,000 people watched it. There are 883 upvotes. Still. People still care. Like, if you go into the comments, they're glad the comments are back. You're hilarious. You have an encyclopedia of pop culture references. If you still want a YouTube career, there is an audience. We will watch. Comments are open. Wow, this makes me happy. I missed you, Spoony. The world could use you right now. Please just make a video again. Don't even bring up how long it's been or any of the drama at all. Spoony, I've been a fan of yours since 2008 in high school. I was just recently watching a bunch of your old videos. The last 45 minutes he's talking with chat and it's amazing. Glad to see you again. The entertainer is still in there. It's never too late. Keep us updated on your health. I actually care. Spoony, you rule, buddy. Good to have you back. Good luck in Arizona. I wish you the best. Stay strong. I miss you, dude. I hope everything is okay. I miss your movie reviews. These people want Spoony to come back. They want to see his reviews. There are a lot of guys who grew up with it like me, who are nostalgic for it, and he might find a new audience. There's a huge market for these video game reviews. Now, there's a lot of competitors now, but he's still very talented, a lot more talented than these guys who, they have great editing skills, but they don't have the personality, they don't have the charisma, they don't have the eloquence that he had. He has some name recognition. And so I really think that Spoony's best option at this point is to just come back, go to work, don't let it bother him, and just come back to work. And you're gonna make money. But unfortunately, it's more likely I think the second option, that he gets a job, is just a 0% chance. I think it's more than likely he chooses option 1 and just sits and rots and does nothing. But let's pray for the second coming. The second coming of Spoony. He's coming back.
I mean, even though we stand alone, we stand together. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for landing. Fasten your
There is always option 4, which is suicide. But I don't think he has the balls.
Over the captain. Just play. They say family that plays together, stays together. And one that walks apart just falls apart. So together we stand, divided we fall, united we form.
Woo, Spoony! The second coming.
Yes, the birds left the nest. I'm all grown up, I gotta fly with the rest. Best of the best is what we strive to be. Yeah, a legacy is what we trying to leave. Yeah, let's say goodbye to the
No, a lot of people don't care about Spoony, but for the guys who do, it's important that we go over this again. Victorious. Victorious. If you fall, you gotta get up and try it again. Come on, Spoony. You gotta get back up, buddy. It's the second coming of the Spoony one. Let us be so blessed.